There's really no doubt at all that we are changing the climate of this planet, and we're changing it faster than it's changed in the last, certainly, several 100,000 years, if not millennia.
Planet Earth was hotter in 2023 than ever registered before. With last month documented as the hottest January since records began, it is likely that 2024 will be even warmer.
It's not a case of if or even when. It's happening. Man-made climate change, we can't ignore it anymore.
In a rare opportunity, we've traveled to Antarctica, the ice-covered southernmost continent, to reveal some of the effects of climate change. Climate change has become a contentious and politicized issue. It's become a proxy for debates that actually has nothing to do with the long-term shifts in weather patterns. But once you step away from the debates, away from the noise, you'll find a handful of scientists who've dedicated their lives to studying the vast expanse of the Antarctic. Their work gives us vital insights into the ecological effects of climate change, and I'm going to introduce you to a few of them. Between 1992 and 2017, Antarctica lost more than 3 trillion tons of ice, and the west coast of the Antarctic Peninsula, the part furthest from the South Pole, has been warming 5 times faster than the global average.
What I have seen, and which is you can't look away from, are physical changes in the ice masses. Where once a glacier was right here in front of us, now it may be moving back up a mountain face.
Dr. 𝗀𝗁cie𝗿𝗆𝗆 has been working as a glaciologist in the Antarctic for more than 2 decades.
We stayed in one hut in 2004, and I remember sailing in a sailboat past the ice face. Like, I used to look at it and think, oh, I really hope a bit of that doesn't fall off on our yacht as we're cruising by. But now the ice face has retreated considerably, and it's no longer a danger. So we do see specific features move and change relative to their surroundings. We're seeing glaciers there accelerating and thinning quite rapidly as a response to warming ocean temperatures.
And what are the consequences of that?
As glaciers melt, they affect the salinity of the ocean. They affect the temperature of the ocean. And when we upset that balance, we really don't know exactly how that's going to pan out.
But it's not just melting glaciers. Warmer average temperatures ultimately affect everything. This emperor penguin colony was discovered using satellite imagery that identified their guano stains on the ice. Antarctica is about twice the size of Australia, and there are roughly 250,000 emperor penguin breeding pairs on the Antarctic continent. As you can see, they are quite curious. They don't view us as a threat, but we're not allowed to get too close to the birds.
Just as polar bears are the sort of poster children for climate change in the Arctic, emperor penguins really are at the coalface, if you like, of climate change in the south.
Professor Peter Ryan is an ornithologist and emperor penguin enthusiast. What makes these emperor penguins so special?
Wow, they hold so many records, it's hard to know where to start. You know, it's the largest penguin, it's the deepest diving bird, it's the only bird that can breed on ice, it's got the smallest surface area to volume ratio, so it conserves heat. It's the only bird that breeds in the Antarctic winter. It just does so many crazy things.
These birds are feeling the effects of a changing climate.
It's the middle of December, the sun is beating down, and the sea ice is getting thinner. And at several colonies, we've had catastrophic failures because of the loss of sea ice. So it's getting harder for them to find secure places where they can breed to raise their chicks. But that's just one problem they face. We know from long-term studies that adult survival decreases as the temperature warms up.
But the scientists don't spend all their time preoccupied with the impacts of climate change. This environment offers other, often unexpected, research opportunities. The conditions in the Antarctic are so extreme that for some scientists, it's the perfect place to conduct research into the possibility of life on other planets. During the Antarctic summer, in which the sun never sets, Dr. Dale Anderson sets up camp near the mountains next to the freshwater lake 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗍. Anderson is a scientist at the Carl Sagan Center for the Study of Life in the Universe.
Lake 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗍, one of the largest lakes in this area of the Antarctic, is one of the most remarkable ecosystems on the planet.
He has been diving to the depths of Lake 𝗀𝗀𝗃 for almost 30 years.
This lake has 2.5 to 4 meters of ice on top of it all year round, and it's very, very sealed. It doesn't communicate very much with the atmosphere, so gases don't go in and out too well, and the water is very, very pristine. There's no fish or higher organisms in the lake. It's all microbial.
These unique conditions give scientists like Anderson a glimpse of what our planet looked like 3.5 billion years ago.
It helps us understand how those communities developed and the record that they left in the fossil record that we can observe today. And not only that, the work that we're doing here also paves the way for us to understand how to go about the search for life on other places, like the surface of Mars or the outer moons of Jupiter and Saturn, for example.
So your work will make it possible for us to maybe one day live on another planet?
I hope so.
But for the time being, we don't have a planet B. Most conversations here inevitably return to climate change, even for scientists conscious of how divisive and controversial the subject has become.
It's a very difficult conversation in many respects, but from my perspective, we all have our own views, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to anyone else's, but it's staring us in the face. It's not a case of if or even when. It's happening.
The big question is, can we still turn things around?
I probably shouldn't say this, but you know, my personal perspective is that it's too late to do anything. We're probably going to lose a large chunk of biodiversity over the next century, and it's really tough for people growing up.
We're actually pretty clever people. You know, we can put ourselves into a big mess from time to time, but we can also figure that out and move forward and try to mitigate things. You know, we're smart enough to get out of this situation. It just takes a common goal and desire to move forward. And I don't think that's such a hard thing for us to do.